Oh, you didn't know? Yo ass better book somebody!
Welcome to Book It, a wrestling podcast for the fans, by the fans. We book and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I am your Commissioner Lil X Fudge, and today we are here with your GMs, Damone D Money Allen.
Hello, Governor.
The bad guy, Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
And the 11th return of HiFi Mike.
Hey!
So last week we got the second half of Travi T's pay-per-view. And
Fear.
pay-per-view Fear. And my mind's going a little fuzzy about what happened. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that episode. If you haven't gone back and listened to that episode, do that for yourself. But we are in the middle
I don't know why, but my brain, when you said my mind went to R. Kelly, my mind's telling me, yeah.
Well, my mind did not go to R. Kelly for many reasons.
Let me know. But my body.
We are in the middle of Bookitverse 4. If you don't know what a Bookitverse is, if you're hearing this podcast for the very first time ever, boy, are you could be fucking lost. Go back and listen to at least to the beginning of this Bookitverse or to our previous 3, and check those out. If you are a little lost as to where we are in this Bookitverse, go back to episode 1 of this Bookitverse, check that out. And Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your show today? Because it'll be RCW taking a swing.
We're doing the follow-up to to about over a year ago to the first week that I did of RCW Massacre for this round. If you haven't listened before, RCW is Radical Championship Wrestling. It's the company I've been running for Bookitverse since, I guess, Bookitverse 3. So this is only the second one.
Yep.
It feels longer. I'll tell you that much. So we're going to be leading up to the pay-per-view Hell House, and that is what this weekly is for.
And so it's a weekly, and your previous one was a weekly too, correct?
Yep, because I like to write weeklies.
So this will not be a pay-per-view like you've heard everybody do thus far.
Nope, I was going to, but I decided to do a weekly.
We're doing a weekly show. So you're like you hear on Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, or whatever. So expect strict time on segments because we do make the contestants time their shit out
anymore.
Did we stop doing that?
We stopped doing that a long time ago.
Oh. Well, I still did it every weekly I wrote.
You could do that, but nobody. I was doing it, and nobody questioned me anymore. We stopped.
Yeah, we used to strictly enforce that shit. And then there was the opposite extreme where Kenny wrote everything under time.
I did, and then look, Debbie stole my idea and with speed. Y'all gonna get hip to my ideas, man. Every time, every Bookitverse I do something, they steal it.
I hate
time.
I hate that Kenny got vindicated.
Even the things we hate, WWE, AEW, TNA will steal our ideas.
They do steal it. There's proof.
Yeah, Kenny was like, let's do every match be 4 minutes on a weekly show, and WWE said, this motherfucker's spitting.
I did 6 minutes. They said, you can't get a good match in 6 minutes. Meanwhile, Ricochet's going crazy in 3. I'm like, this is insane. I see how it is, man.
None of my matches are 3 minutes long or 6 minutes, so we're good.
Let's go. All right, Mike, take us away to RCW Massacre.
All right. So we get an overhead view of the arena from the outside, and then we cut to the inside. Pan the arena as pyro goes off. Tony Schiavone says, it's Monday night. Or, I'm sorry, it's Wednesday night. It's time for RCW Massacre. Live from the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm Tony Schiavone, and with me is my broadcast partner, Corey Graves, and we have one hell of a show lined up for you tonight. Graves says, That's right, Tony. The action will be nonstop. Unfortunately, Shane McMahon isn't here tonight, so that means GM Suck is going to be running the entire show. I heard that he's at an intense training camp getting ready for his match at Hell House. Tony Schiavone, I think GM Punk is doing a tremendous job, Corey. Corey says, whatever you say, Tony. Tony says, last week we watched the rookie Finn Balor lose to the veteran Chris Jericho. And Corey follows up with, Balor was humiliated, Tony. I don't think Finn Balor has what it takes to hang it here in RCW.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, WCW. Just because I keep saying Tony Schiavone. And Tony says, maybe Balor's luck will change tonight. All right, so first comes Norman Smiley. He comes out first, and then
He's here.
And then Balor comes out second. Balor looks serious compared to the goofy antics of Norman Smiley. As they come out, the commentary team explains what's on the line. Tony says, both of these competitors tonight have something to prove, Corey. Norman Smiley looks to finally secure a win, and Balor is looking to get back on track and end his losing streak. Corey says Finn Balor has proven that he's a bust. He came to RCW with high expectations, and the company should sue him for defamation and embarrassment because he's put us all through the worst just by being employed. Chris Jericho came out last week and put Balor in his place. When will he learn, Tony? Just then we hear Judas play, and Chris Jericho comes out. He gives a shitty grin to the crowd and then to the ring. Jericho walks around the ring and makes faces to mock and laugh at Balor. With Balor's eyes locked on Jericho from the outside of the ring, Jericho holds his hand out and laughs, reminding him of being tricked twice last week with the handshake. Jericho then sits at the commentary table. Balor looks over at Jericho and at commentary, then back at Norman Smiley. The bell rings, and Norman Smiley runs at Balor, and Finn is able to evade the attack, and Norman runs into the turnbuckle. Balor quickly follows it up with a knee to Norman's back. Balor uses the momentum to roll backwards and jumps back up and follows up with a drop kick to the back of Norman. Norman falls to the ground, and Balor gets on top and punches Norman Smiley in the head. Norman gets Balor off of him, but this doesn't slow Balor down. When Norman returns to his feet, Finn runs and does a sling blade, knocking Norman to the mat. Spots are: Norman charges at Balor, but Balor sidesteps Norman as he runs into the turnbuckle again. He's dazed. Norman turns around, and Balor gets him with a double stomp to the chest. Outside the ring, near the ramp entrance, Balor does a shotgun drop kick to Norman, sending him over the barricade. Balor gets on the barricade and does a double stomp onto the back of Norman Smiley. In the middle of the ring, Norman gets Balor's arm from behind and pulls it. Balor is able to flip around and get out of it. Balor gets behind and kicks the back of Norman's knee, allowing Balor to set up for a spinning elbow drop. Balor covers Norman, but kicks out at 1.5. Norman grabs Balor and throws him into the mat, throws him down with a mat slam. Norman runs off the ropes and does a splash, but Balor gets his knees up, hitting Norman in the abdomen. We hear commentary say, Tony says, Finn Balor has come here tonight to show that he means business. Jericho says, this has been all luck, Tony. I'm sure that Balor will slip up at any moment. He's the prince of biffing it. Balor throws Norman out of the ring and gets him with a tope con hilo. Norman gets on the middle turnbuckle, but Balor hits him with a soccer kick, knocking him down. Norman stumbles back to his feet, and Balor knocks him down with a Pele kick. Balor goes for the pin, 1-2, but he kicks out. Norman grabs Balor from behind. Norman does a big wiggle. That's from behind a bent forward opponent. Smiley licks his hands and rubs his chest, making a slapping motion on the hips of his opponent. and then goes for a Norman Conquest, which is a cross-face chicken wing. But Baylor is able to get free and gets Norman set up for the 1916, and he drives him to the mat. Instead of covering, Baylor looks at the top rope, top turnbuckle, and then to the cheering crowd. Finn Balor makes his way to the top turnbuckle, and he stands up. He sets up for the coup de grace. He can feel the arena screaming. The electricity flows through him. Tony says, "Will he finally do it? Will he finally land the coup de grace?" Very quickly before he jumps, you hear a heartbeat sound and the arena's lights go out, and then it's like a flash of red and then back to normal. This happens all together. As Finn goes to jump, Chris Jericho is seen pushing Baylor off the top rope, and he falls onto the mat. He's able to roll through, but Norman is ready and hits Baylor with a spear. Then he picks Baylor up and hits him with a smiley slam. Norman goes for the pin on the outside of the ring, behind the back of the referee. Jericho's holding Finn Balor's feet down so he can't kick out. Norman gets the 3 count and celebrates his first win as the entire arena boos Jericho. You hear Jera Blow's chants permeate the arena. Jericho is now halfway up the ramp laughing at Balor. Balor scowls at Jericho. We go to a commercial. And then when we come back, Chris Jericho is seen in the locker room laughing while talking with Norman about what happened. And Balor bursts and gets in Jericho's face. Finn says, "Jericho." Jericho says, "Hey there, little buddy." Jericho chuckles. "Looks like another loss for old Finny Poo." Finn says, "You got lucky last week. And this week you've tested my patience. I'm not going to sit around and let an old bitch like you run his mouth." Jericho gets in Balor's face. "Yeah, and what are you going to do about it, little boy?" Jericho shoves Balor. Balor attacks, and the two brawl for a second, but the other talent in the locker room try to break it up. GM Punk runs in to help stop the brawl, and we fade out.
Damn,
He's insulting him like Conor McGregor. Come on, little boy.
Breaking up fights instead of starting them backstage for once.
He does a lot of that this show, actually.
I'm gonna let the others go first.
Let Damone go. He hates it. So
I need to chew on this.
I can see it on his face. I can see it on your face.
I'm calculating. Kenny, go.
All right, I'll start. So I think I like where it's going. I feel like that'll be a great match. Jericho and Finn Balor will be fire. I'm just saying that'd be fire. And I'm assuming you say he's old.
He's older. He's like now Chris Jericho. That's because I like I like the veteran rookie type deal.
You
could have done like 10 years ago, Jericho.
Okay, then it's 10 years ago, Chris Jericho, but he still has Judas as his theme song. I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good.
That's better.
Mike,
That's fine.
Is Finn Balor in his prime?
Finn Balor is.
You said he's a rookie, right?
He's a rookie, but he's pre-Demon.
So this like Prince.
It would be kind of Prince Devitt if you mix Prince Devitt with Finn. I mean, yeah, it's.
Okay.
Yeah, I still like the potential of this match. I think the back and forth. I didn't really like the back and forth, but I did like the match was good. I think the match was good. I like I said, I liked where way it ended. I like the setup, but I just didn't like the back and forth when they were talking. I'm gonna go with a 3.75.
Okay. I agree with Kenny basically on everything, like in terms of his analysis. I thought like the actual like promo delivery was pretty rough.
Well, that's just my rating.
I feel like, Mike, before you present your next match, I need you to take a deep breath because like you seem a little nervous. You're having like some Joe Biden debate going on.
Yeah, let's I get it. We'll get there.
Yeah. Present your match with your whole my cussy. Your whole
don't do that. Don't do that. Leave that where it's at. Leave it where it's at.
Yeah. I don't need to ever see your Mike Cussy.
Yeah, I don't even want to. When you do that, let me know so I can leave.
But yeah, I didn't like the promos. but I like the way Jericho cheated. That was pretty creative. And I do like the idea of them facing each other. I feel like you're on to something, but there was some roughness with it. I'm gonna give it the same score as Kenny. I'm gonna go 3.75.
I agree with everything they said. Like, the promos were not my favorite, but Jericho is also corny as hell, so I could see him saying some of that stuff. So I forgot what the one thing
I
you
just
said
write
that
corny. Like, let's be honest. I just write corny. Let's call it what it is. That's what I'm good at.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt for Jericho because Jericho is corny. But yeah, I agree. I think because it's a rematch, right? Because week one,
Yeah, it will be a rematch.
It will be a rematch. But...
So, and I said this last time, but you probably don't remember. Everything in Hell House is gonna have a no DQ and a stipulation.
Okay.
So it's gonna be slightly different from the first one.
Yeah,
and
but I like
at
the way
that
you're
point,
building it up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but I like the way you're building it up. The match was good. I like Norman Smiley. I need to bring him back and have him being afraid of Hornswoggle again.
That's why I said he's here.
I need to finish that storyline at some point.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I liked it overall.
Right.
Wasn't that in your first Bookitverse?
Yeah, it's in my first Bookitverse. Yeah, Norman Smiley was deathly afraid of Hornswoggle.
It never finished the storyline.
I'm just gonna throw it in randomly in random spots. It's just gonna be like a random promo, and you're just gonna see him running from Hornswoggle.
All right, so here's a return of the women's division.
Oh,
Actually, there was one last time. There was a match last time. All right, so
here we go.
Tony Schiavone. Last week we saw Natalya return from injury and attack the women's champion Toni Storm. Corey says Natalya was unjustly robbed from her championship because of that injury, but she's back and ready to make everything right. Tony says GM Punk feels similar to you, Corey, and he's given Natalya a shot at the #1 contendership tonight, giving her the opportunity to get back what she feels she deserves. First out is Chelsea Green and then Natalya. I don't know why I always tell you guys that. It really doesn't matter, but I'm telling you anyways. Natalya comes back to a reaction of mixed cheers and boos. Cheers for her in-ring return are met with boos from the fans about the attack from the week prior. The match starts and Natalya goes right for Green. She starts with blows to the head, getting Green in the corner. Natalya slaps Green in the chest 3 times before kneeing her in the gut. We get picture-in-picture of Toni Storm watching the match backstage. Spots are Natalya starts to work Chelsea's leg early and does a series of stomps. Chelsea breaks out of a grapple and kicks Natalya in the gut. She then runs off the ropes and gets natty with the running facebuster. Natalya lifts Chelsea Green to the top turnbuckle and sets Chelsea onto her shoulders for an electric chair. Natty slams Chelsea and goes for a pin, but a kick out after 1. Chelsea Green is standing on the apron, and she sidesteps Natalya running to hit her with a shoulder. Chelsea lands a front something to Natalya. I don't know.
A front suplex.
Front neck lock.
A front neck breaker.
It says font book, so I'll come back to Natalya. Natalya lands limp on the middle ropes.
You said a front book? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what it says.
A front book.
Front flip. Oh, wait. I think I got front flip to Natalya. Natalya lands limp on the middle ropes, and Chelsea Green locks in a rope decapitator. Chelsea runs off the ropes to capitalize on a series of blows, but Natty reverses it into a wheelbarrow buster. Look, man, I wrote something,
It's
and
just
I'm not gonna decipher right now because
Every time you do a women's match, this shit happens.
it's not the women's match. It's not because it's the women's match.
time.
It didn't light up saying it looked wrong. So when I reread it, my mind went over it.
it's just your face as you were doing it, like.
Bro, they're stumbling. Now they got the front flip slide.
Oh.
Whatever that move is.
Front. I want to
I'm
say
going
a
front flip.
front kicked like a boot to Natalia, but that doesn't make sense either. A big boot to Natalia. Natalia lands limp on the middle ropes.
That makes sense.
Either way, Natalia lands limp on the middle ropes, and then Chelsea Green locks in a rope decapitator. Chelsea runs off the ropes to capitalize on a series of blows to Natty, but reverses it into a wheelbarrow buster. Chelsea Green does a drop kick, sending Natalia through the ropes and onto the mat to the outside. She then goes for a missile drop kick from the apron to the outside, but Natalia rolls out of the way. Chelsea hits the ground, rolls through, but is met with Natty by nature. Natalia power bumps Chelsea Green into the steps on the outside and then follows up with the knee to the head. Chelsea Green does Imprettier in the middle of the ring, covers, but a kick out after 2. Natalia picks Chelsea Green up from behind and hits an atomic drop, followed by a basement drop kick, a pin, and a kick out at 2. Natalia picks up Chelsea Green onto her shoulder in a powerbomb position, spins and drops Chelsea to the mat. Chelsea Green goes off the ropes and tries for a boot, but Natty ducks and grabs her by the leg. Natty turns Chelsea over and locks in a sharpshooter. Chelsea Green reaches for the ropes, but Natalia pulls her back to the middle. Not able to handle it anymore, Chelsea Green taps out. Natalia gets her hand raised, and the champion, Toni Storm, comes out with the championship in hand. Toni walks down to the ring, and Natty walks to the ropes, shouting insults and threats. She points to Chelsea Green laid out in the ring and says, "This is what I'm going to do to you." Then points to the women's championship in Toni Storm's hand. Toni Storm stares up at Natalia and holds the title up, and we go to the next segment. That's it.
I have a question.
Yep.
Which version of Toni Storm?
This is pre the one she's doing now.
So pre-timeless.
Yes, because that's when I wrote it originally. She wasn't timeless yet.
So when you say pre-timeless, you're saying this is the short hair where she's a heel? Short hair, like,
Or is it
like
rocker? Like rocker.
Rocker.
Okay.
Okay.
She's a face.
Okay. So Natalia's working heel.
Natalia will be working heel. She's coming back to try to get her title. She feels she's robbed.
Okay.
For
And
her,
what
it's
happened?
revenge.
Just because it's been so long.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green attacked Natalia the week before.
No.
Or I
Natalia
reversed that.
attacked Toni Storm in her
Okay.
match.
Okay. I can go. I'm gonna go because I see what you're doing with this. I think. Let me see. Because that match does have potential. They're both really good in ring. We just got to see what kind of shenanigans they get into. So this is going all off potential. Because not much happened here.
No.
So that's why I'm like, I can't give it too high of a score because not a lot happened. So I'm gonna go with 3.25
That's fine.
because
Thank
not
you.
a lot happened, and I'm interested in what they're gonna do next. But I just can't give it a 5 or anything like that because
No, I'll take
not
it.
much happened.
It's understandable.
So I'm judging purely like 99% off of the match because, like you said, not much.
What-
Like, it was a very
yeah,
basic
it's-
interaction. The the champ comes out, raises the title up, pretty basic. So I'm just going off the match itself. It was a pretty solid match. Both Natalia and Chelsea Green are capable, and despite the unknown move, it was a pretty.
And I apologize. I can't tell you. I listened to this 5 times and I reread it 3 times and somehow missed it every time.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't take away from the
Yeah.
That
Mock
was-
move in this one
yeah.
too.
And what probably
You gotta
I
make
get
the
it. It's
front.
just a
You gotta make the
typo.
front
It
booker new
happens.
finisher.
what probably happened is it changed when I was doing find and replace, and I replaced it with something on accident.
Yeah. So overall, I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
I'll take it.
It was an above average match.
I mean, I'll take it for me writing women's matches. That
Yeah, I'm thinking the same realm as them too.
okay,
You know,
that's fine with
the
me.
story is mid, and the match was slightly above mid. So I'm gonna try to sit perfectly between them, 3.25 and a 3.5. And I'm gonna give that a 3.35.
All right. I'll take it.
So when
So
we do random ass fucking scores, like
so
it's
this
my
Every
favorite
time.
thing.
this next
I want to
one.
make the math more difficult.
So I just want to point out that this next one has become from an outcome from the first round wheel that we did, spun off an entire storyline. So that was incorporated in my show as a whole.
Okay.
All right. So we see GM Punk sitting behind his desk and he's talking to Cash Wheeler. Cash says, "I'm telling you now, he's gonna get what's coming to him. Put me in a match with that son of a." At that moment, a knock on the door and Sami Zayn comes in. Sami says, "You wanted to see me?" Punk lifts his arm up and waves Sami in. What the hell is he doing? What the hell is he doing here? Punk says, "I called both of you here because I heard that you have a problem. I'm here to solve that problem. Cash, I know last week Sami helped you with your partner situation." Cash tries to interrupt, but CM Punk puts his hand up and keeps talking. "I know you're mad and you want a match to settle this. So here's what I'm going to do for you." CM Punk stands up and then sits on the corner of his desk. "You will get that match, but it won't be against each other. Both of you will be teaming together tonight against the New Age Outlaws. Oh, and one more thing before you go. If either of you sabotage the other, you can kiss both of your jobs goodbye. Now, get the hell out of my office. You got a match, right?" He looks at his watch. "Now." Both Sami and Cash don't know what to say. They look stunned. They both get up real fast and run out of the room, and then we fade to the ring. "Oh, you didn't know? Yo ass better call somebody." The New Age Outlaws come out first. And then we see a disheveled Cash Wheeler, and then Sami Zayn comes out.
Who always looks disheveled.
Yeah. But he still doesn't have his partner. He missed another flight. We start the match with Sami and Cash arguing about who's gonna start. This allows Road Dogg to make the first move, and he attacks Cash Wheeler with fists to the head. Road Dogg throws Wheeler into the ropes and follows up with the knee to the gut. So we're going to go into the spots. Cash Wheeler delivers fist to Road Dogg's head, and Road Dogg falls into the corner. Billy Gunn goes to tag himself in, but gets pulled off the apron by Sami Zayn. Sami throws Billy Gunn into the steel steps. In ring, Cash Wheeler delivers a series of European uppercuts to Road Dogg. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg take turns tagging in and out and delivering stomps to the midsection of Cash. Sami tries to come in, but the ref turns to tell him to get out. When that happens, the Outlaws both stay in the ring and stomp together. Road Dogg does a shake, rattle, and roll, and follows up with a belly-to-back suplex. He covers Cash Wheeler, but he kicks out of one. Sami Zayn does a moonsault press to both Billy and Road Dogg on the outside. At one point, Sami goes for the tag, and as he does, Cash gets pulled down. Sami looks around and looks for his partner. He slaps the mat in frustration, but quickly sees what's happening outside. Sami gets up, bounces off the ropes, and does a baseball slide, knocking Gunn down, freeing his partner. Road Dogg is against the ropes, and Cash Wheeler is holding him there. Sammy goes for a big boot, but Road Dogg slips out, causing Sammy to almost hit Cash. But he stopped just in time and held his hands up, saying he didn't mean to.
Hey,
Road
Sean
Dogg-
Paul, Shake, Rattle, and Roll is also the name of Road Dogg's punch combo. Go ahead.
Road Dogg.
Continue.
Road Dogg uses the opportunity to set up a pump handle drop. He pins Sammy, but kicks out at 2. Cash Wheeler throws Billy Gunn off the ropes. Billy Gunn goes for a clothesline on the rebound. Wheeler ducks, and on the second rebound, Wheeler does a drop kick, knocking Billy Gunn down. Cash goes for the pin, but Road Dogg jumps in to break it up. Billy Gunn hits Cash in the corner with a splash, and then Cash comes out of the corner dazed, and he gets picked up for a scoop slam. Billy Gunn covers Cash Wheeler, but gets pulled out of the ring by Sami Zayn. The two start to fight outside until Road Dogg comes around the corner and helps attack Sammy. The fight is broken up when Cash Wheeler jumps through the ropes with a dive to the outside, knocking everyone down. Sami Zayn and Cash Wheeler get their opponents in the corner, and they stand on the second rope and deliver 10 punches each, then get off. They run to the other side and do it again to the opposite opponent. They finish it by throwing them at each other. Both men collide and fall to the mat. Sammy delivers a blue thunder bomb to Road Dogg. Cash Wheeler is laid out on the mat outside, and Billy Gunn slides in. Billy goes for a clothesline, but Sammy counters and grabs him, throwing Gunn into the corner with an exploder suplex. He throws him, grabs him, throws him in the corner with the exploder suplex. Shouldn't have split that up. All right. All 4 men lay in the ring, and the ref is counting. The first up was Billy Gunn, then Sammy, then Road Dogg, and finally Cash Wheeler. They're all in a corner. No, sorry, I need a drink real quick. I had a popcorn kernel in the back of my throat that entire time. I was trying not to inhale it.
Water.
I gotta cough real quick. Hold on.
This cough is brought to you by Ray's Energy Drink.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
All right, I hope it's gone.
All
right. Where all 4 men lay in the ring. They're all in a corner. Sami Zayn is the first to make a move, and he runs across and delivers a haluva kick to the dome of Billy Gunn. Cash Wheeler is able to do a tornado DDT to Road Dogg. Sammy holds Road Dogg back with his leg while Cash gets the pin for the 3 count. As Sammy and Cash Wheeler get their hands raised, GM Punk's music hits, and he comes to the stage. GM Punk says, "Bravo! See, I knew despite your differences, you could do it. I liked it so much that I don't want it to end. So let's keep it going next week. Both of you will be in a number 1 contenders match for the World Tag Team Champion against the Steiner Brothers. But wait, there's more. You're showing real talent. Really working as a unit. So let's up the ante. Also competing in that ring will be the best friends, Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor." We wait a second and show the unsure reactions from Sammy and Cash Wheeler, then back to GM Punk, who is golf clapping and waving to the crowd as we fade out to a commercial.
Why is he torturing them?
Oh, no, he's not. He's not torturing him. He sees potential. He actually sees potential.
He wants them to become best friends.
But I knew you were going to ask that.
Yeah, I was like, why is he doing this?
I want it to be known he's doing it because he sees potential, but he also finds it fun to fuck.
Be a
He's
dick.
like, I don't like him.
Yeah.
He's like, nah.
GM Punk likes to fuck with him, but he also sees potential. Like he's having fun as well.
Y'all act like GM Punk wouldn't be the biggest fucking dickhead. Like,
That is true. He would be a douche.
Right.
And I
feel like
love
how I'm
Punk.
writing him.
Punk's my second favorite of all time. So
My number 1.
and Sean, yes, GM Punk is the general manager of RCW.
Yes,
He's
CM Punk
GM Punk here. You
is known as
Punk.
GM Punk.
And you know what, Mike? You get $5.
No fucking way.
Yeah. I liked some of the spots you did, particularly like the drama of like the 4 men in the 4 corners. I liked the outside of the ring antics. I liked the fucking you know, just the corner exploder. I liked the work rate of the match. I'm gonna say like a mark. But I also think the story's fun because you've got GM Punk being a dickhead, but also trying to like make them work through the differences. And you built up to something that is clear that he's going to try to set them on a path to become number 1 contenders for the tag titles, and they got to face 2 other tag teams. So you built something and you did something I like. So
Thank you.
You're getting $5.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
You want to go, Kenny?
I can go. Yeah, I agree. I'm also at a 5. I did like this a lot. I did like this a lot. I was just wondering why he was doing this to him. I was like, why is he torturing him like this? But yeah, I didn't see any problems with it. Just like John said, I enjoyed the match. It is a solid storyline. In my opinion, it is the best storyline you have going from what I remember. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with them. Like,
Nice.
I was trying to see if there was any holes or anything, but
I
there's
feel like
nothing.
I covered it pretty well.
Yeah, you did.
And,
Like, I'm glad that you like put the stipulation that if they didn't work together,
Right.
they were gonna get fired. Because
Yes.
otherwise, it would just be like, why wouldn't Sammy just turn
Right.
on them again?
Exactly.
But
Mike, I think we had the comment of the night below that GM Punk would be a menace to society
Exactly.
from Sean
And
Paul, and he would be. He
everybody
can't even be
hates-
trusted to like pretend to run a locker room, much less actually run a locker room. That place is gonna be a fucking nut house. So like,
I just want to point out that everybody on this panel hated GM Punk when I first put him out there.
no, I hate the name GM Punk.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like
Wait,
it.
did I not like it? I feel like that's something
No,
I
you
would like.
liked it.
Yeah,
John
yeah, I
liked it.
Yeah,
defend
you
that.
did.
Yeah, and I like the name. I think the name's funny.
No, I like the idea of CM Punk as a general manager.
GM.
I just don't like GM Punk.
All right.
I love it. I
We're
fucking
gonna
love it.
go to a segment now. I'm gonna say it again. This is a product of last spin of the first week.
Okay.
It's bloomed into its own thing. we come back to Dragunov in the ring wearing a suit with a microphone and something in the middle of the ring with a blanket draped over it. Now I'm not gonna do his accent, so you're just gonna have to imagine it's with an accent.
Okay.
Last week, I was told by management to meet a dying, diseased child who requested to meet me with his final wish. When I got there, I found out it was actually the American swine, Kurt Angle, that the sniveling child asked for. Now, I can't blame him. He's sick. He didn't know what he was saying or who he was asking for, so I, Dragunov, the Tsar, the Mad Dragon, made it my goal to put a smile on his sad, pitiful face. Dragunov points to the Radtron 3000, and we get a series of pictures over Sarah McLachlan's Arms of the Angel. The pictures depict the meeting of Dragunov and the Make-A-Wish kid that we saw last week. First was the picture we already saw, and then and that's him with Dragunov, and the kid is forcing a smile. Or no, the kid is crying while Dragunov is forcing a smile. While wearing all the kid is wearing all Kurt Angle gear and holding Angle action figure head to toe, and he's just crying his eyes out. Then we see one of Dragunov. Then we see a next picture as Dragunov trying to get a high five. The kid's just crying. Then one of them on a Ferris wheel, and the kid looks terrified, still crying. It shows Dragunov leaning somewhat over the front of the Ferris wheel cart. The next slide is Dragunov holding the kid's shirt as he almost falls out of the Ferris wheel cart. We get a slow-mo video of them running in the park, and Dragunov looks back as the Make-A-Wish kid trips. The next picture is of the kid holding his knee and Dragunov laughing. The next slide is the two at a rodeo, and Dragunov stands next to the kid as he's on a bull, and in the background we see another bull running up behind them.
Wait, the kid is on a bull?
Yeah, the kid's on a bull. The last picture is Dragunov being put in a cop car, and the child is still crying while being taken by a police officer.
So Dragunov was trying to kill this kid.
No, she's trying to give him the time of his life.
By dropping
Yeah,
him
the
out
kid's
of the
already
Ferris wheel.
he in his mind the
I was
kid's
gonna
already
say,
gonna,
it sounds like
the
he's
kid's
trying
already
to
dying.
give him a good time, but it's like
Right. He's just trying. We go back to the ring and Dragon.
the way I'm picturing it, he's trying to go ahead.
We go back to the ring and Dragunov is clapping at himself. Dragunov says, "Do you see that? Do you see how nice I am? I took him on one last adventure out of the kindness of my heart. Kurt Angle couldn't even be bothered. Kurt, come out here and explain why you let that child down and had me pick up the pieces, giving him the best day of his awful short life." Angle comes out looking confused. Dragunov says, "So glad you could show up for once, Kurt." Angle says, "Look, I'm not sure what happened, but I was sent to the wrong place. I somehow ended up in the middle of a pride parade on top of a float singing Lady Gaga. I was wearing a wig." The Radtron 3000 throws up a picture of this happening. Dragunov said, "You disgust me. I don't want your excuses. We don't want your excuses." Dragunov turns his head to the side and spits. Angle says, "I'm not making excuses. It really happened. It's true. It's true. Wait, what do you mean, we?" Dragunov says, "I have a surprise for you, Kurt." Dragunov pulls the blanket off the object, and it's a Make-A-Wish kid standing there with a shirt that says "Angle sucks," and wears and has Dragunov gear head to toe. He has a smile drawn on his face, but he's clearly not smiling and still crying. Dragunov is smiling ear to ear, and Angle is shocked. Dragunov says he wanted to meet his idol, Kurt Angle. "I made his wish come true." And now Dragunov gets his face close to the kid's scared kid's face and says, "Now you will see me kill your hero. Hail to the Tsar." Dragunov turns and delivers a clothesline to an unexpected Angle. When Angle gets up, Dragunov is ready and gets him with a German suplex, nearly clipping the kid as he gets pulled out of the ring by security. Dragunov stands over Angle and grabs his head and beats him senseless. He grabs Angle's face and holds it towards the camera. He screams, "All of your heroes will fall." And he throws Angle's head to the ground.
Okay, yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
All right, I'll start. Now listen, you would have had a 5 out of me. I was all for it. But I didn't like the fact that he had the painted on smile. I wish, honestly, I wish you would have went the route where the kid actually ended up liking Dragunov more than Kurt Angle. I wish he actually liked him more, even though he tried to kill him. I feel like that would have been a funny little twist to throw in there. And something I really think of that I really didn't like. Other than that, I loved it. I thought that was hilarious the whole way through. I'm gonna give it a 4.75. I think that's the only thing that was missing. I wish he would literally turn him around. That would have been crazy.
No, I get it. That would have been good, but I'm leading to something. So.
Oh, you go ahead.
And that's gonna be another $5 from me.
Hey.
That shit was fucking funny. And well thought out.
Thank you.
I live for that type shit.
Yeah, it was funny. And
Sean said that Dragunov needs to be arrested, and that is true.
Yeah, he did get arrested.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So I'm gonna also give you a 5. I really like this version of Dragunov. I like I'm already a Dragunov fan, but I like that he went from oh yeah, I'm helping this kid to I'm gonna kill your hero and then just beat the shit out of Kurt Angle. Plus that match is gonna fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish that he turned that kid around. That would have been funny.
I would have cheated and given you the 5.5.
Well, I like I said, I'm leading to something, so I gotta.
Like the kid just kicks Kurt Angle in the nuts.
You know what? I thought about that as you said that. I was like, it would be funny if I revealed him and he just kicks Angle in the nuts. But but then I wouldn't have.
my hero now.
I needed to show like the evilness of Dragunov.
Yeah, no, I get what you're doing, but I would have loved if he turned him to a fan of him. And Craig was like, "What?" Like, like I really was trying, and I feel like Dragunov should have been like, he didn't want to be here with you. I was the only one there. But he just kept really pushing that to make Kurt Angle the bad guy, but really he was just manipulating the kid's mind.
I could see that. That would have been a good way to go too. All right.
Maybe the kid
So
comes
back.
Let's see if he makes it 3 weeks.
Czar Jr.
How many weeks does this kid have to live?
Hopefully 2 more, because you got to finish the storyline.
He doesn't make it to the end of the story.
I'm adding him to the wheel.
He dies before the pay-per-view like Benoit.
He doesn't get to see the finish.
Oh, sorry.
He never gets his payoff.
This is awful.
Yeah, we going to the same hell.
Yeah. See, the same hell as Dragunov, apparently.
All right. So we get a small little teaser trailer for the Marine. This is one of my wheel spins, by the way. This is 2 of my wheel spins in 1.
It didn't have to be the Marine. It was just called the Marine on the wheel.
I thought it said the Marine. They had to do the Marine.
No, I just put a little title on there. All of them got something to where it's like.
I swear somebody said the Marine. That's why I wrote down the Marine.
No, it says the Marine and then it says that, but it
doesn't matter. It's the Marine. It doesn't matter.
Damn it!
It doesn't matter. I wrote it as for the Marine. It doesn't matter. All right. So we get a trailer for the Marine, starring Brian Myers and Booker T.
Yeah.
After
Booker T acting is great.
After the commercial, we cut to both stars sitting in movie chairs, and they're getting interviewed live by Mean Gene.
This is just GI Bro.
Mean Gene. Welcome, gentlemen. It's great to have you here to talk about your upcoming movie, The Marine. Brian, how was it to play the star hero in your very first film? Brian Myers says, playing the hero was a blast. I loved being GI Bro. It's fulfilling to portray a character that fights for justice and takes down...
Wait. Brian Myers is GI Bro?
Yeah, he's the good guy. Brian Myers uses his thumb... hold on. It's fulfilling to portray a character like G.I. Bro that fights for justice and takes down the bad guys. Brian Myers uses his thumb to point over at Booker T as he says, the bad guy. Mean Gene says, and Booker, you play the villain in The Marine. How did you approach your role as the antagonist? Booker T says, oh, let me tell you, Mean Gene, it was a thrill to be the bad guy. I brought everything I learned in the ring to the character of Corporal Carnage. And I guarantee the fans are going to love to hate me in this movie. Mean Gene says, Booker, any particular scenes where you really got to embrace being the villain? Booker says, there's this one scene where I go head-to-head with Brian over here, and I got guns and everything, but not to spoil you, but I came up on top in that one. You see Brian start to get uncomfortable and antsy. Mean Gene says, Brian, you transitioned from wrestling to acting as well. Do you find any similarities between the two? Brian Myers says, both wrestling and acting requires discipline, dedication, and the ability to entertain the audience. It's been a natural progression for me, unlike some other people. You see Booker T roll his eyes. Mean Gene says, Booker, we've gotten reports from the set that claim that there have been some internal issues backstage. Can you tell us who is causing these problems and what has been happening? Booker T says, look, Mean Gene, I'm not at liberty to say due to my current contract, but let's say some young talent on the set likes to think that they're better than everyone and need to be put in their place. Can you dig that? Brian Myers looks away, trying to hide his annoyance for what was said. Mean Gene says, that's an interesting response. We'll be back with more from Booker T and Brian Myers and the cast of The Marine. It's not done. There's another part coming up in a few sections, but that is part A. So hold on to your scores.
Okay.
Because it's all one segment, but I had to break it up for storytelling purposes.
All right.
So, this next one is also just a part of
Oh
a
my
story.
God.
So it goes. Look, I'm writing. There's reasons for it. All right, it's storytelling at its finest. So we come back from the commercial break. We see Brian and Bree Danielson walking in, and Danielson is heavily invested in his phone, and Bree is talking to him. She says his name a few times, but he doesn't respond. He completely ignores her. Walking in the other direction is Enzo Amore and his manager/wife, Sasha Banks. As they walk by, Brian Danielson looks up and turns from his phone to look at Sasha's ass. Then Sasha looks back and they exchange a glance. Bree notices and looks at him. When he looks up at Bree, she gives him an eye roll and storms off. Brian Danielson is telling her it's not what it looks like. All right, so now here's a full match you'll be able to rate.
Okay, because I was gonna say, don't let me rate that one yet.
No, it's not. It's gonna be a full fucking thing. Chill. It's got a match and everything.
He's looking at cheese.
All right. We come back to the ring and we see Rebellion. Rollins, which is Rollins and Gargano with mics. Seth says, "Last week my partner and I came out here and laid it all on the line." Seth put his hand on Gargano's shoulder. "Well, I didn't come out on top. This man right here, my friend, no, my brother did." The crowd cheers. Seth looks at Gargano. "We let Cody Rhodes get into our heads, and I, for one, won't let that happen again. You deserve it, brother." The two friends hug in celebration over Gargano's win for the #1 contendership over the
Rollins?
Ultraweight Championship. What?
I said, is he Hulk Rollins? You said,
So come on, brother.
you said, come on, brother.
Is it like more like Drake and Josh, brother?
Hug me, brother.
Hug me, brother. Just then Cody's music hits. He comes out with Omos and Strowman, the Nightmare Alliance. Cody comes out and gives a shit-eating grin and has both hands behind his back. Then puts a mic to his mouth, but one hand still behind. Hold on, I need to get a drink. I'm sorry. I got whatever this is stuck in the back of my throat still there.
This part is sponsored by organiclovin.com. Do you have something stuck in the back of your throat? Would you like something stuck in the back of your throat?
Well, here at Organic Loving, we have just the products for you.
All right.
We have the Anal Blaster 3000. We have the Deep Throat Gawk Gawk. No, I was kidding.
The Hot Tua.
The Hawk Tua just came in.
Cody comes out and gives a shit-eating grin as has both hands behind his back. Then he takes one of the hands and puts a mic to his mouth, but one hand is still behind his back. "Boys, boys, boys. So good to see you. You're looking," he pauses, "well." Or no, he pauses. "Well. I hate to break up the celebration, but I'm afraid I've got some bad news." The crowd boos as Cody looks down the ramp and into the ring. He takes his other hand out and holds up a piece of paper. "This right here in my hand is a contract. This contract has one name on it." He points over to Gargano. "His. This is the contract for a match at Hell House for my Ultraweight Championship. Unfortunately, as of right now, it's null and void without my signature. Without my signature right here on the line, there will be no match at Hell House." Gargano looks angry and says, "I won last week. I held up my end. Now you need to hold up yours. Or if you don't, I'll make you." Gargano is now holding the ropes with one hand. "Unless you want to look like a man whose word means nothing in front of millions of people watching this around the world, and they will all know that Cody Rhodes can't cut it." Cody says, "Look, I'll sign it, Strowman holds out a pen and Cody takes it. Strowman then turns around and bends down so Cody can sign the paper on his back. He goes to sign but stops. Actually, I don't think I will. Gargano and Rollins are now cursing and talking shit from the ring. Cody continues, unless you take on my enforcers. Omos and Strowman right here, right now. Rollins and Gargano look at each other and then back at Cody. Rollins says, let's go. As Strowman and Omos make their way down, Cody stops them and says something only they can hear. He then says back into the mic, if you two win, I signed this contract guaranteeing a one-on-one match at Hell House against Gargano. But if you two lose, that one-on-one match won't be against Gargano. It'll be against Seth Rollins. Cody gives another shit-eating grin, and Rollins' face drops. He looks at Gargano and then back at Cody. At the same time, they say, we accept. Omos and Strowman slide in the ring, and both Gargano and Rollins go for a quick attack. Rollins stomps Strowman, and Gargano attacks Omos. Both men get up and look like they weren't phased. Strowman cocks back his fists and plants it right into the face and chest of Seth Rollins, knocking him to the ground. Omos is able to grab and pick up Gargano and throws him into Rollins as he tries to stand. Their bodies collide. The two monsters slowly walk towards Rollins and Gargano. The ref tries to step in and tells one of the men that they have to leave the ring to start the match. Strowman pushes the ref to the side. Rebellion are now both leaning on the ropes. Omos and Strowman go for the big boots at the same time. Rollins and Gargano both duck and pull the ropes down. This causes the Giants to fall out of the ring, slamming them down to the mat outside. Cody Rhodes starts to yell at them. Strowman slides in and Gargano gets out. The match has officially started. Here are the spots. Strowman, now angry, goes right for Rollins and gets him with a clothesline. Strowman puts Rollins in a bear cut. Wow. Am I having a stroke? Strowman puts Rollins in a bear hug, and then when he goes limp, throws him across the ring like an animal, just toying with his food. You see Cody clapping to the crowd. Strowman grabs Gargano from the apron and throws him in the ring. He throws him into Seth Rollins, who is in the corner. Omos is holding the feet of Rollins from the outside so he can't move. Strowman runs full speed, hitting him with a body avalanche. Hitting them both with a body avalanche. Gargano goes to punch Omos, but Omos grabs him and arm flips him into the mat. Rollins runs in and does a super kick, but Omos catches his foot and leg flips him to the mat as well. Omos laughs and then steps on the back of Rollins. Then another stomp onto Gargano as he walks on top of the men's bodies. We can see Cody screaming orders to both men. On the outside, Strowman holds Rollins and plants a forearm chest across him, knocking him onto the floor. Gargano is seen running off the ropes as he goes to dive. The big boot of Omos knocks him clear in the head. He spins in the air sideways and hits the ring. Strowman does a series of punches to Gargano's head and then picks him up in a bear hug. He drops Gargano and goes for the pin. 1. Rollins gets into the ring and breaks it up, but he does hesitate, or gets in the ring to break it up, but he hesitates for a second. But then right before the 3 count, he breaks it up. On the outside, Omos does a shoulder tackle, throwing Gargano into the steps. Rollins tries to help, and Omos notices and picks the running Rollins up over his head and throws Rollins over the barricade and into the crowd, landing in the first 2 rows of people. Strowman has both men on his shoulder to do a running power slam. Omos is standing on the apron already celebrating because this signals the end. Both Gargano and Rollins slip out behind Strowman. Strowman takes a few steps without them and gives the duo opportunity for Gargano to quickly drop to his hands and knees. When Strowman realizes this, he quickly turns around but is tripped. Strowman falls to the ground and then he goes to get up. While on his knees, we see Rollins run and put his foot in the back of Strowman's head and pow! He does a curb stomp. Gargano sees Omos and turns around, not sure what has happened. He rebounds off the ropes and lands a dropkick to Omos. Omos falls to the outside. Rollins and Gargano both run off the ropes and at the same time and simultaneous suicide dives through the ropes, landing on Omos. Cody is screaming at Omos and Strowman to get up. Rollins is able to get Strowman in the corner and he gives him a few chops. He runs back and then full speed puts a knee to the chest of Strowman, who slinks down a little. Rollins does another run, and this time he connects his foot to the head of Strowman, and it follows through. Strowman hits the mat, and Rollins gets on the top turnbuckle. He lands a 5-star frog slash. He goes for a pin, but a kick out right before one. Rollins and Gargano get backed into each other, and in the middle of the ring, both Omos and Strowman approach slowly and menacingly. At the same time, both Omos and Strowman go for a big boot. Rollins and Gargano duck out of the way, and the Giants boot each other in the head and fall to the ground. Cody is seething outside. Omos tries to take control and is able to grab Gargano by the neck and throws him over the top rope. Omos turns around and to gloat to the crowd. Gargano was able to save himself and land on the apron. When Omos turns around to look, Gargano does a slingshot spear and hits Omos in the gut. The impact was enough to knock him down. For insurance, Gargano waits for Omos to get up and lands a tornado DDT, driving the head of Omos to the mat. Rollins and Gargano land stereo enziguris to the head of Omos. He stumbles a bit but doesn't fall. Gargano runs and hits him with a dropkick, and he falls to one knee. Rollins follows up with another curb stomp. Omos hits the mat and rolls out of the ring. Strowman charges at the men and head down, hit them both with stereo super kicks. He instantly falls and Rollins hits a pedigree. Rollins covers Strowman, but at the last second, he kicks out. Back on the apron, Gargano reaches for a tag so he could give it a shot, securing his one-on-one match at Hell House. Rollins looks at his hand and then back to Strowman. Rollins slowly gets up while Gargano is screaming for the tag. Rollins again looks to Gargano and then to Strowman. He looks like he's going to tag, but the last second, he goes for a weak super kick. Strowman catches his foot and flips Rollins on his back, Omos then pulls Gargano off the apron and beats him down. Strowman lifts Rollins up and lands a running power slam. He pins Rollins for the win. Omos rolls Gargano into the ring. The two giants celebrate as Cody makes his way into the ring. He holds the contract in front of Gargano's face and crosses his name out. He then hands it to Rollins, who's sitting there holding his neck. Seth looks up and then over to Gargano. Rollins signs the contract and rolls out of the ring. And we leave on a shot of Cody with a grin ear to ear and Rollins leaving up the ramp, not looking back. No, Sean, I didn't have a better enforcer than Omos. These are the two biggest guys on my roster.
And he's the only black person.
Also, he was awful to write for.
I'm not surprised.
It was absolutely awful to write for.
Yeah, he has no.
Strowman is the workhorse of that duo.
It's sad.
Bad.
They're big monsters. They did what they were supposed to do. They're big monsters.
So Strowman out here in the tag team game, man. Him and then with the powerhouse, go tag team. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna start off, and I'm gonna kind of rip the Band-Aid off. It's not gonna be like horrific, but this has been my least favorite thing thus far on this show. And it's not because like there was some egregious thing that happened, but it was aggressively lower mid. Is how I felt about it. Like, I failed to feel that sorry for the baby faces that I did like the contract stipulation, so you're going to get some extra for that. I thought that was really smart on the part of Cody Rhodes. But other than that, there wasn't much for me to latch on to here. I'm going to give this, I originally had it at Travis mid. I'm going to up a little bit for the contract thing, because I thought that was really smart. And I'm going to give you a 2.75.
Okay.
I'm actually going to give you the exact same score for the exact same reasons. The match itself, I do like the stipulation and Cody Rhodes like manipulating them, and then Seth kind of doing something for himself and being selfish and like second guessing it, and then Cody Rhodes using that against them. So I really like that. But the match itself is rough. So
I
most
knew
of
it was
that,
gonna be.
yeah. So most of
I knew it
that
was gonna
is
be, but I had
is
a story to tell.
story, right? Yeah. So the story is carrying that. So
Yeah.
but
I sat here and I contemplated that match for a good 2 hours before writing anything.
it's a long time for
But-
an Omos
You should have
match.
contemplated a different match.
But I did. I contemplated a lot of different matches. None of them fit the story because the enforcers are almost in Strowman.
I could have given you different enforcers.
No, I already did it in week 1. I can't change it.
I wouldn't have remembered.
He's gonna have Omos walking some steps like Family Matters.
He could have. I wouldn't have remembered.
Okay. I'm gonna be the different one here. I actually liked the match. I like that they were breaking down Omos like with the moves they're doing, like because they had no choice but to fight the way they were fighting.
Right.
And I think that was. I also am giving you props for trying to book Omos as strong as possible and make him as good as possible with his limited ass moves.
I want to tell you, I went to go look up his top moves. It was front leg flip, arm flip.
Yeah, I was gonna say his top 10 moves is very bad.
It's flips and punches, and not him flipping, but him flipping other people.
Yeah, so I personally went, and I did like the story as well. And again, this does have potential. So, like I said, I am the different one here. I went with the solid 3.5.
Hey, thank you. I just want to point out this is the matchup. This is the story that got me like the 0.5s and the lowest scores in my first one. So my goal is to get this thing up into the 4s at least, and I think I'm getting there.
Yeah, I think you could at least get it into the high 3s.
I think, and I've got a solid plan. All right.
I looked up
okay.
Omos's moveset.
It's not good.
He has 3 moves.
Yeah. Front. It's leg flip, arm flip.
Big boot.
Big boot.
Big boot.
Pendulum backbreaker.
And it's not like a
Two-handed
nice
choke
big
slam.
boot. It's not like Test big boot or nothing like that.
So
He just puts his foot up.
Just lifts his leg up, and you got to run into it. That's it.
he's there as an enforcer.
It's not a
He
Lance
doesn't-
Hoyt big boot.
All right. So this is gonna be the finish of the Booker T Brian Myers segment.
Okay.
Mean Gene says the question on everyone's mind: will we see both of you in ring again soon? Booker T says you never know, Mean Gene. Brian Myers says you can count on seeing me back in the ring whenever I feel like it. Maybe I'll teach Booker here a thing or two about real competition.
Poking the bear.
Booker T, is that so? You think you can handle me, sucker? Brian Myers, I know I can handle you, Booker. There's no denying it. I ran circles around you in this movie, and in fact, I think I can handle you right here, right now. Brian Myers suddenly stands up and gets in Booker T's face. Booker T stands up and is now in the face to face with Myers. Booker T says, "You're getting ahead of yourself, kid. You're just a bitch boy trying to play tough." The tension in this room reaches its breaking point as Booker T shoves the interview table aside, and Brian Myers lunges forward and goes at Booker T, and both men start punching each other. Booker T accidentally trips over cords, and a camera. That's the botch for the wheel. I just want to point that out. That is a botch.
Woo!
The brawl is now being filmed on its side from the floor. Mean Gene, you hear Mean Gene say, "Stop it, guys! This is not where we settle things." Yeah. Not where we settle things. Security rushes in to separate them, and we just see feet, really, and like some body parts. Well, I guess we see them, but like when the security runs in, we see feet. They manage to pull Brian and Myers and Booker T apart, and the camera gets put back up. Both are screaming and swearing at each other. Brian Myers says, "You're just a has-been, Booker. I'll show you what a real star looks like." They say this as they're being pulled apart. Booker T says, "You think you're untouchable? Myers will whoop that ass into next week." And we fade off as they get pulled apart. And that's the end of the segment.
Not to next week.
I will say that Booker T and Brian Myers in a movie in the Marine is insane.
They're not good movies to begin with. So if I would have known,
film.
I think I'm gonna make it work.
And the fact that Brian Myers is G.I. Joe or G.I. Bro.
G.I. Bro.
is insane.
That code name G.I. Bro. It's the Marine code name G.I. Bro.
That is crazy for Brian Myers.
Yep.
Overall, it's okay. Like, I don't love it. I don't hate it. So I'm just gonna give you a 3.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too with this. This is yeah.
I had to use both people.
Yeah, I get it. I get it's the wheel, but it's like
I'm gonna give a little bit extra because I think that at least it was funny.
Thank you.
So I was entertained by it. Like, it's still nasty work, but it was entertaining nasty work. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
You're gonna be shocked to find out what the box office for that movie is.
$225.
A Popeyes gift card.
All right.
$25 of that is John because he likes nasty ass shit.
So this will be the he'll get the Daniel Bryan stuff or Bryan Danielson stuff here. There'll be the match in the segment next.
Okay.
All right. So we see the Danielsons' locker room and we hear arguing. You hear Bryan Danielson scream, "Fine, then leave." The door swings open and Brie walks out in a huff. Oh, I don't know if you remember, but in the first week, Bryan Danielson kissed Charlotte during their match.
No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan kissed Charlotte during his last match.
Okay.
Against, I want to say it was Macho Man in the winner's circle. So that's where we're now. I feel like you might be connecting some dots.
Yeah.
And this is also gonna go into my wheel spin. We see
How
the
many
Danielson.
spins did you fucking get, Mike?
He did 5. He did
I got 5, and then I added the 2 from the first week.
Jesus.
We see Danielson's locker room. We hear them arguing. You hear Bryan Danielson scream, "Fine, and leave." The door swings open and Brie walks out in a huff. Then the camera pulls back to reveal Sasha Banks sneaking into the locker room. She looks out of a small crack in the door, smiles, and closes it. We go to a commercial. When we come back from commercial, Enzo is looking for Sasha because they have a match against Bryan Danielson and Brie Danielson. So you hear him screaming for Sasha up and down the hallway. He walks by Danielson's room but keeps walking. Sasha slips out after he walks by and then tells him she's been right behind him and he walked right by her. Sasha says we should get to the ring as she wipes her lips and shimmies her top and skirt. While she walks and Enzo looks at the Danielson's door suspiciously. First, Enzo comes out. "My name is Enzo Amore, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. This right here, this is the boss, Sasha Banks, the baddest chick in the game, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest duo in the room. How you doing? And if you ain't down with that, I'm going to spell it out for you. SAWFT, soft." It's been so long since I've got to do that. Next up is Bryan Danielson It's announced as Bryan Danielson and Brie, but Brie is not there. Bryan walks down the ramp and stops midway and look at a good-looking woman in the crowd. He slips her a piece of paper and he signals for her to call him. The match starts and Bryan Danielson locks up with Enzo. Bryan Danielson quickly gets behind Enzo and gives him a suplex. Bryan Danielson gets up, smiling, and winks over at Sasha. She gives a smirk and fans herself trying to look nonchalant. Enzo gets up and dives for the back of Bryan Danielson's knee, dropping Bryan to the ground. Enzo and Bryan lock up. Bryan Danielson gets behind Enzo while twisting his arm. Enzo is able to flip out of it and break free. He kicks Danielson in the gut and then lands a baseball punch to the head of Danielson. Enzo goes for the Giordano early, but Bryan breaks free. Why did that Google just go off? What the fuck? Bryan breaks free. Bryan capitalizes with a drop kick. Danielson mounts Enzo and delivers a blow to the head. Danielson then goes to the top rope and does an early diving headbutt. Enzo isn't dazed long enough. He's able to roll out of the way, and Danielson hits the mat hard. Enzo runs off the ropes and does a baseball slide and connects to the head of Danielson. Enzo runs at Danielson and gets thrown out of the ring. Danielson runs and does a suicide dive to the outside, sending Enzo back into the announce table. Sending Enzo's back into the announce table. Enzo does a combination of punches, and with Danielson dazed, he runs off the ropes and does a tornado DDT. Enzo is on the middle of the rope and goes for a DDG. Danielson spots this and counters with a knee to Enzo's head. This drops Enzo instantly. Danielson circles around. Danielson circles a downed Enzo, looking to gear up for yes kicks. Enzo is able to roll out of the way of a kick and delivers his own. Daniels falls to his knees, which gives Enzo the opportunity to land a punt to Daniels' torso. Enzo throws Danielson into the corner and runs behind, but Danielson flips up and over Enzo. Enzo makes chase after he misses, and Danielson bounces off of the ropes and connects with a clothesline. Danielson is standing over Enzo and is punching away up to 10. After the 10th, Danielson connects an avalanche Frankensteiner. Enzo slams to the mat. Danielson throws Enzo against the ropes. Enzo ducks, but they follow through and rebound. This time, Enzo goes for a clothesline, but Danielson rolls through. Another rebound, and this time it connects with a knee to Enzo's head. Enzo falls, but gets back up. Bryan Danielson positions himself behind Enzo and grabs him for a series of suplexes, and he releases Enzo on the third suplex. Enzo and Danielson are trading punches back and forth. Enzo wins the exchange and Irish whips Danielson into the opposite corner. Enzo backs up into the corner to get a running start. Right before he is about to run, Sasha gets onto the apron and grabs Enzo's head and face and starts to kiss him. One eye open looking in Danielson's direction. Sasha has one eye open looking in Danielson's direction. Sasha lets go.
Direction, right?
Yes. Direction, not at his erection. His
Yeah, I was like,
direction.
what?
Look, man, my mouth is starting to get dry. All right.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, he got an erection.
Yeah, he got an erection. That'd be a twist. That's what's gonna. You know, that's what AI is gonna clip for TikTok. I want you to know that.
Probably
Because I got loud on that one. One eye open looking at Danielson's direction. Sasha lets go and jumps down, and we see Bryan Danielson deliver a corner drop kick. Enzo falls to his knees, and Danielson does the yes kicks, finally getting him off. He finished the sequence with a roundhouse kick to the head. Danielson gets on top of Enzo and puts on the yes lock. Enzo taps out. Danielson gets his hand raised, but then slides out of the ring. We see Sasha checking on Enzo, telling him she doesn't know what happened. Bryan Danielson gives a smile and walks up the ramp backwards. When he gets to the top, we see his wife, Brie Danielson, come out. He looks at her, she looks angrily at him, and we hold the tension for a second. She slaps him and walks away as we fade with seeing him hold his face, but he also has a grin on it. And that's it.
You a freak.
Also, I'm not telling you guys yet, but Brian Danielson's gonna have a cool new name soon.
It's got to be some mix of Daniel and Brian somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe Daniel Bryanson.
No.
I know Brian.
So this was also part of my wheel spin. Was the Sasha needed to cheat on her husband, so I made it Enzo. Or her spouse.
So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Bet.
So I will definitely say the second half saved it because I was ready to give you that 0. You're good thing that you kept going. It wasn't just that one segment.
Not the womanizer.
So Daniel Bryan, I like the where you're going with like Daniel Bryan. Well, I guess cheating on his wife, Sasha cheating too, and then Sasha like essentially helping Daniel Bryan win without making it obvious.
Thank you.
So I'll give you a 4.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I think that's actually really smart storytelling and pretty compelling. I'm gonna give this 4.5.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the middle. I'm at 4.25.
I'll fucking take it, man. All right. Here is so it's going to be a segment and then the main event. But it's all going to go together. It's all one thing.
Okay.
If you don't remember, and you probably don't, the week prior, Doink, we saw a video package of Doink with the World Heavyweight Championship. He stole it from MJF. He took it from his bag. And there was like a vignette and all creepy and shit like that. We see the champion, MJF, in his private locker room talking to police. Last week, his title went missing. The police leave, and he says, "Thanks, guys, for all your hard work." MJF looks down and sees a brown paper-wrapped package. He picks it up, and it's a small white box. He opens it up to see a picture. It's a picture of the end of the hallway that he's standing at, and in it is his championship. So, like, it's pictured at the end of the hallway, and on the floor is his championship in the picture. So he goes that way. The caption reads, "Follow the leader." MJF walks out of the locker room and goes down the hall where the picture was taken. As he approaches, he sees a red arrow painted on the wall. He walks forward. First he says, "God damn it." Like, he whispers, "God damn it." And then he walks forward, and the lights start to flicker. One of the doors he walks by slams shut. He goes to walk in the next one, and that one slams shut as well. The next door is a black door. It has a red question mark on it. He twists the handle and opens the door. In the middle of the dark room is a single light and it shines on the RCW World title. MJF tries to turn on the lights on, but instead it turns a black light on. MJF gets shoved in, and the door behind him closes, and you hear it slam and lock. The black light reveals writing all over the walls and floor. It all looks like gibberish, except for the big bold letters that say, "Your life is my life. We are one." MJF goes to grab his championship from the pedestal, and the lights go completely out. And you hear a scream and a loud crash. We now go back to ringside as we see Tony and Corey speechless. Tony says, "I'm not sure what we just witnessed, but we'll be right back after these commercials with our main event, where MJF is scheduled to face the winner circle, Macho Man Randy Savage. But now we're not sure what's going to happen. Stay tuned." We come back from commercial, and Macho Man makes his way to the ring, flanked by the winner circle, which is Batista, Orton, and Charlotte. Macho Man stands in the ring, and we hear MJF's theme, but no MJF. The song keeps playing. From the entrance, we do finally see someone. They have on all MJF's scarf and the rest of his gear. The arena is darkened, but you can still see the figure walk down the ramp because he's got a spotlight on him. The person has a black executioner's hood on. The figure gets once the figure is in the ring, they take the hood off and reveal it's Doink. And anybody new to Bookitverse or anything, this is Doink the Clown as played by Luke Harper. He's a serial killer type character. Where is I? So
It's revealed to be Doink.
yeah, he reveals to be Doink. I'm trying to find that. Take the reveal. Doink. He is dressed in head to toe in MJF's gear, but Doink's face is still Doink's face. He does not appear to have the RCW World Championship with him. He gives out a creepy smile, and blood starts to slowly run down out of his mouth. Macho Man looks confused, but then goes to attack Doink. Doink quickly spits the blood into the face of Macho Man, and this temporarily blinds him, while Doink delivers a big boot to the head of Macho Man. He then looks down at the rest of the winner's circle and grins. Doink turns around to grab Macho Man by the hair, and Macho Man lands a quick low blow. The ref shrugs and sniggles for the bell. Macho Man locks up with Doink. These are spots. Macho Man locks up with Doink. Macho Man starts to win the exchange, but Doink starts to overpower him. Doink then throws Macho Man against the ropes and gets him with a dropkick. Doink has Macho Man lifted over his head. He is going to do an avalanche double underhook suplex, but Macho Man starts to punch Doink in the head. This allows Macho Man to get free enough to grab his arm around Doink and counters him with the DDT. Macho Man circles Doink, and when he gets behind him, he tackles Doink's leg, and Doink falls to the mat. Macho Man runs off the rope and goes for a backdrop senton onto Doink, but Doink puts his knees up. Macho Man grabs his back, but stands up. Both men now standing. Doink gets some speed and is able to pull off a Hurricane Rana. Macho Man, I think that's supposed to be a separate part. Whatever. Macho Man goes to the top for a double axe handle. Doink, being distracted by the winner's circle, walks right into it and gets hit right in the head. Macho Man goes for an early pin, but kicks out at 1. Doink grabs Macho Man on the ground, and he quickly picks him up, showing his power, and slams Macho Man to the mat with a gut wrench powerbomb, a move often used by MJF. Macho Man stands up after being dazed in the corner. Once he finds his bearings, Doink lands a super kick, landing him right back down into the corner. Doink runs and lands a cannonball. Macho Man runs off the ropes and lands a series of bionic elbows. The final one Doink catches and throws Macho Man to the outside of the ring. Macho Man is standing over Doink and hits him with some stomps. Macho Man starts to gloat. He points over to Doink and twirls his finger in the air. Macho Man goes to pick up Doink, but before he could get him, Doink sits up and delivers a shot to the throat of Macho Man, kind of Undertaker style. Macho Man is now grabbing his throat in pain, and Doink stands up. He grabs Macho Man's head and does a running bulldog. Macho Man is down. Doink picks him up and does it again. Doink picks up Macho Man and places him upside down on the turnbuckle.
Like the
is that a trio woe?
Yeah.
Doink lands some punches and slaps, and a slap, and then chokes Macho Man with his boot. Macho Man falls, and Doink picks him up and places him right back where he was. Doink takes a few steps back and runs at Macho Man, booting him in the face, and it's like so hard it follows through. On the outside, standing over Macho Man. Stands over Macho Man. Doink stands over Macho Man, standing on one knee, and he delivers blow after blow to his skull. The winner's circle starts moving closer. Doink, with Macho Man's hair in his hand, looks around at them, closing in, and puts an index finger up and waves it back and forth. Doink picks Macho Man up and puts him on his shoulder. He takes Macho Man and runs straight and throws Macho Man in a snake eyes into the metal turnbuckle. Macho Man's body slams lifelessly on the ground. From behind, Macho Man runs off the ropes and is able to grab Doink by the hair and jump over the top rope to perform a hair pull hangman. This knocks Doink back, grabbing his throat. Macho Man gets on top of the turnbuckle, and he does his elbow drop. He covers Doink, but only gets a 2 count. Doink only gets a 2 count. New spot. Doink stalks his prey. The winner's circle screaming for Macho Man to get up. Doink waits in the corner, and Macho Man finally gets to his feet. Doink moves in and gets closer. Macho Man, no longer looking dazed, runs at Doink. Doink catches him and lands a crucifix bomb. We cut to a picture-in-picture as we see GM Punk, along with the staff and firefighters, trying to break down the door that MJF went into. We go back to ring and see Doink holding the head of Macho Man and slugging away. He picks Macho Man up, and Macho Man tries to get free. He kicks the gut of Doink twice and is able to get out of Doink's grip. Macho Man runs to rebound off the ropes, but Doink catches him and hits him with a discus lariat. He then grabs Macho Man by his hair and places him through the middle rope. Doink does MJF's finisher, the Heat Seeker. He covers Macho Man for the win. We go back to picture-in-picture while Doink is getting his hand raised, and they finally get in. The room is empty and completely normal, without a trace that anyone has been in there, other than a chair in the middle of the room with an MJF wrestling buddy tied to a chair with Doink face paint on it. Back in the ring, we see the winner's circle surrounding the ring and slide in at once. They have Doink 3-1, 3-on-1. The lights go out, and then when they come back on, the winner's circle are now laid out on the mat. 3 new figures in all black and masks with clown faces and mysterious symbols on them stand over the bodies of the winner's circle. One of the mysterious men opens up a sack to reveal the RCW World Heavyweight Championship, and he hands it to Doink, who holds it up while keeping one foot on the head of Macho Man, and we fade out. It's the end of the show.
I'm very intrigued.
This is by the way, I think this is the first Doink match you guys.
I was
going
to
to
say, is this Doink's first in-ring match?
First weekly match that you guys have seen.
Okay. I'm gonna give it 5. I'm really intrigued. I like the stuff with him, like MJF going in the room and like
do you like
getting locked in.
Buddies?
Yeah, and then it turning into a wrestling buddy and like the mystery, like where the fuck is MJF? And then also, who are these 3 new people with Doink? Is one of them MJF? Like, and now Doink is carrying the title, and yeah, I like it. I fuck with it. The match was good too. So I'm gonna give you a 5.
Awesome.
I too am gonna give you a 5.
Hey.
Similar reasons. I thought this was well done. The Doink stuff's been cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next. So,
thank you.
Free MJF.
Kenny, you're muted.
He's muted. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the hater here.
Fine.
But it's not like a lot though. Like I'm at
0.5.
Yeah, I'm at a 4. I didn't think it
I'll
was
take a
perfect, but I thought it was really good.
I'm excited to reveal these people. There's been hints.
So my question is, Mike, are you spinning the wheel?
Yeah, I'm spinning the wheel.
All right.
I am spinning the wheel because I'm not a bitch.
I am a bitch, and I'm saving
mine. I was definitely a bitch last one.
Yeah, I'm a bitch, and I'm doing mine the last one round. I'm not doing it.
And if you can give me the average that we're at right now, that'd be great.
You know Kenny can't do math that fast.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you're going to give me a little bit.
Yeah, we got to...
You can do it afterwards. That's fine. I don't care.
We're a few weeks behind on our math here at Book It.
I think this went really well.
He's not young Shelton.
All right. Let's see. Spin that first wheel.
So those are new. That's going to determine something that Mike has to do. So he has to
Yeah.
use brother
Yeah, I know what
love,
it says. Oh,
brother love.
bet.
All right, Brother Love.
Brother love isn't one of the
Please be in a movie. Please be in a movie. Please be in a movie.
brother love in 12 rounds.
He wants to spend more time with his family, so he's missing next pay-per-view.
Works for me.
Oh
Real
no,
great.
you're devastated.
Actually, I was gonna use Brother Love, but that's fine.
So brother love
Actually
is
was
not
gonna
one
use
of
him.
not one of the three masked men.
Okay. All right, so I had to write that down. All right. The next one. So you got three spins.
Trent
Trent
Beretta.
Beretta.
Fuck.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
I have him coming up next week.
Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
could
you're
fuck
using the
with
best
that.
friends.
This is the first time I've had somebody affected by what I'm doing.
Oh, he has to go
He
do an
started
That's
an
MMA
fine.
MMA
That's
fight.
fine.
career.
That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. That's
Missing
fine.
Next review.
He was really the one that was saving the best friends for this, but that's fine. I got Rocky Romero too, so we're good.
Okay. Yeah, so he's missing this review due to an MMA fight he got going. All right, last
Trent
one.
Beretta in MMA is nasty.
That is nasty. Tyler Bate.
Master Bait. Wait, did I not have him in my draft initially?
You
I guess
probably
not.
think no. I drafted him.
You probably used them if you're.
Yeah,
for your
a
thing.
lot of
Damn.
people sniped right off my thing because I wasn't gonna do it.
Wow.
He lost his smile.
He
and
lost
retired.
his smile and
That
he
is
retired.
okay. That's all right. Do I have to write that? Do I have to write that in that he retired, or how does that
you
work?
can just,
Is he just
you
gone?
can just, he's just gone. I mean,
All
you can have him be his last show. He's do something, quits
Who
or
was
whatever
it?
it is. He's got to leave.
Bro
Was
did
it
that
again?
Master Bait segment and said,
That was
"Yeah,
funny
I
because
got
I was
Tyler
gonna
Bate.
use him this week too, but I ended up not.
Tyler Bate retires.
That wasn't bad.
Mm.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. That came together really well.
Yeah. So HiFi Mike, can they find you anywhere
Thanks,
after
John.
hearing your great show?
No.
D Money,
I
how
don't-
about
I don't-
you?
You can find me on all the things if you feel like it at Dumb Money T13, DAMONEY T13.
And Bad Guy, tell us about your 27 shows.
Oh yeah, you can catch me on all social medias at Bad Guy Spoken. I got an Instagram again, so yeah, go check that out as
Woo,
well.
he's free.
Yeah, I got it back. Not free. I was being robbed. I was getting hacked, but I ended up getting a new one. You can also catch the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube's, and you can also catch Unbiased, the football podcast. Where so we said we're signing off. Threw me off. So you can catch the Unbiased Football Podcast. You TK throw little you like this, and you can also catch Hood Movie Reviews, where we review all your favorite and not so favorite hood movies. This episode we just did Dead Presidents. So if you've seen the movie, go check out the review afterwards. So it's a really good movie. I think that's one of the best ones, I feel like. And you can catch what the fuck is that show called? You can I forgot the name of it for Switch.
Not a real court.
Geek in the
Yeah,
Sheet.
not a real court. I was gonna say Geek in the Sheets, but not a real court. Where you'll see us debating anything like best fruit, saddest scenes, making sandwiches. We do it all. We do it all, not a real court. And you can also catch Geek on the Sheets, where we talk about everything anime, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, whatever your nerdy little heart desires, we talk about it. So check that out.
All right. Well,
You can find all the shows on the T13 Media Network at our website at t13media.com.
yes.
Make sure
And
you buy
also-
a shirt or merch because we're doing another fundraiser this month. In the month of July is going to be for disability awareness.
Hell yeah. And if you want to catch Me anywhere. The best place to do that is Reach for the Ropes Wrestling Discussion Group on Facebook, where we share the live stream of the show early, so you can go check that out. As well as our Twitter, our Twitch, our Book It Facebook, and all our new social media. And then catch the show streaming on officially on Fridays, YouTube, Spotify.
It's on Saturdays, but
Fuck.
Not a real court. It's on Friday.
That's what I mix it up with, because Not a Real Court is a great show and I watch it every week. Fuck Joe though. Continuing on. That's been another episode of Book It. Mike, you did a great job. See ya.
Bye.